And what I would tell a new gardener is to learn what your baby plants look like. But he is notorious for coming through with his weed whacker and whacking them back. And I get so mad at him. I like to plant very tough perennials that can handle that. And I don't want to water them because I don't have that much time. Good morning. Today is all about perennial cutback. We're going to be focusing on plants that need to be cut back because they are flopped over like this, or because I want to encourage new blooms in the fall. So the ones that we're going to be focusing on today, we have oregano here because it's all flopped over. We have a catmint that I want to encourage new blooms, Veronica, lady's mantle, salvia, and there's probably a few more along the way, and I'll show you each one. Let's do this. Rolo, get out of here. You're not scaring me this morning. What the? Ugh. You don't have to cut your perennials back mid-season like this. I'm doing it so that it looks more tidy and so I can encourage new blooms. But if you don't want to, that's fine. It might rebloom in and of itself. You can cut this back in the fall. Either way, I'm doing it because I like my flower bed. This flower bed here I can see from my house, and I walk by it all the time, and this is bothering me. So that's why we're cutting it back. All right, well that really cleared up some space. And what I would tell a new gardener is to learn what your baby plants look like, or your little starts or things like that, because whenever I was uncovering all of this oregano that had flopped over, I had found the calendula over here. I didn't plant that, just kind of growing along with these weeds. And this one is few fever. It's just growing here. So I'm going to leave those because that way I don't have to transplant them. They're obviously doing well, so that's great. So learn what your baby plants look like, your seedling plants look like, because those are basically free plants. Birds plant them there, you plant them there, however they get there. You didn't intentionally put them there, but they're there and they're thriving. So why would we accidentally chop them off? My husband is notorious for that. I will leave plants where they are. Now, they don't belong there sometimes in the pathways and things like that, but he is notorious for coming through with his weed whacker and whacking them back. And I get so mad at him. But we just need to learn what our seedlings look like. Can you hear that? But this is a poppy. It is a beautiful purple color, but I planted a whole packet of seeds and I had 2 of these poppies come up, but I want it again. So I'm going to save these seeds. This is, if you can see the seed head on this poppy, and the inside of it is full of seeds. So we're going to save it, and then in the winter, I'll go ahead and plant it out again. The next 2 that we're going to be working on are Veronica right here. We're going to go ahead and cut off these blooms and encourage new growth. We have catmint. It's this more of a silvery color back here. We're going to go ahead and cut that back as well because it has finished blooming. But what we're not going to touch is my pincushion flower that's right here. And also, there is lemon balm seedlings everywhere. So we will make sure we take those out because I don't want them in this bed anymore. This bed is in serious need of mulch. We did mulch it in the spring, but I guess we didn't do a very good job because there are giant cracks running through this flower bed. So we're just going to go ahead and cut this back. This catmint and that Veronica are some of the things that I will be moving to the front of the bed, like I said earlier, because this used to be the front of the bed, which is why they were planted here, because they are low growing and they should be more towards the front. But this was the front at the time that I planted it, and I have expanded the bed. So that's okay. We'll move it around. I am not going to be transplanting today because you can if you want to, but I'm not going to be because it is hot. And I do not want to be out here watering twice a day. We do not have any sort of drip irrigation here in our flower beds. So I like to plant very tough perennials that can handle that. And I don't want to water them because I don't have that much time. So I'm not going to. I will wait until the fall. I'll gather a few more plants. We'll put something bigger and taller right in here. All right, now in this spot, I have yarrow and I have a hyssop here and probably some comfrey that we'll cut back and try to control the Bermuda grass. This Bermuda grass I cannot get it out of my flower beds. I'm not really sure what to do about it. It kind of takes over, but we're going to try to uncover as much as possible because the sedum over here is about to bloom, and it is one of my absolute favorite mid to late summer bloomers. So, and also this black-eyed Susan or Rebecca, we are going to try to stake up because I love the bright pop of color when really nothing else is blooming. Also, I want to save the seed heads so that I can plant them on my hillside project. So we're going to get to work here. There is a lot going on in here, but hopefully I don't find any critters. Would not like that. In the garden beds behind me, I have been absolutely brutal this week because we have had a major heat wave come in, and so things were looking not so great. Some things I knew were no longer going to produce anything else, like the corn that I picked and got little baby ears of corn. There was also just other onions that I had never pulled out from earlier in the year. There was also so much so much basil in there that I didn't need that. And also because I am getting ready for fall. This week I will be starting several of my fall seeds. Those are the Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. I will also be starting some flowers that I want to go out here in the garden that I can plant later in the season. I am also going to be starting carrots in the garden beds. I've also and rutabaga in the garden beds. So those will be direct sow and they'll be seeds. So while the garden may look empty, that is because I have pulled out my mid-summer crops. There are still the heat-loving crops that are still growing in there, and we will be planting and getting ready for fall. My absolute favorite time in the vegetable garden is fall. Everything looks good as long as you keep up on it. I know it can be overwhelming. This is the time of year where I'm just like, it's hot. I don't want to be out there. I'm done with this. But when it comes October and I still have a garden full of stuff and the weather is absolutely perfect to be out here, I am so thankful for myself right now, enduring this heat and humidity to make everything look nice, because I garden well into December. I use hoops and I plant crops that are storage varieties, and I keep them and I store them directly in the ground. Rutabagas, turnips, carrots, beets, all that stuff, I just leave them in the ground. We have a hoop house over the top of them, and it's my favorite. Now, obviously, for the flower garden, May, June, spring, that is my favorite time. But for the vegetable garden, I much prefer fall gardening. It is fantastic. And if you've never tried it before, I would encourage you to follow along, because you'll see, and I will show you how easy fall gardening is and how wonderful it is. It does take a little bit of effort now, though. I'm not going to lie to you, because I have to start, in my area at least, I have to start most of my things from seed in the fall garden, because my garden centers around here do not carry fall crops. Why? I have no idea, but they don't. I will not be able to find Brussels sprouts to plant, broccoli to plant, cauliflower to plant. Now, if you're planting from seed, of course they'll have that, but the starts. So I do have to start all of my cold crops, my cold season crops from seed. So that does take a little bit more effort. Now, I accidentally just pulled this up, and that's okay. I'm just going to plant it somewhere else, because why not? There's cracks all over everywhere because I need mulch. So I'll plant this in just a second. I don't actually have anything to dig with. But in the description, I will write exactly all of the varieties of plants that I will be planting, because I order my seeds from Johnny Seeds. And when I go on there, I look for, you can click on a button, but I look for ones that you can plant in late summer for fall harvest or for overwintering, because those seeds have been tested and do well in that kind of environment. You'll see these giant cracks running through my garden a lot of places. That's because I have clay soil and I do not have enough mulch. This bed used to be yard, and so it's hard and it's compacted. I did plant plants that are going to thrive in that kind of environment. Sedum, my comfrey, the hyssop here, and yarrow, and things that will help break up this hard clay. And also, if I continue to put amendments on top, mulch, compost, things like that, hopefully it'll get better. It's just dry. It's summer in late July in Missouri. Just kind of what happens. And what this does is reveal this beautiful sedum. I want more sedum in my garden. I have propagated a few of them and I planted them in other places, but I could have so much more sedum in the garden. I absolutely love it, because when everything else is being cut back right now, this is about to bloom and the pollinators absolutely love it. They go wild. Whenever it blooms, I'll have to put a video up so that you can see it, because it is crazy to me. I had no idea. If anybody has any advice for Bermuda grass, I'll take any advice you have. Because when I planted this flower bed, there was no Bermuda grass in it. Zero. I have Bermuda grass in my lawn, but I took a year off of gardening to make sure that there was no Bermuda grass in this space. And yet, here it is. I don't know what to do about it. It's in with my flowers, and I really struggle with it. And I know cutting it off like this is not good. You're supposed to get all of the roots out. But those roots are stuck. They're in the ground. They're stuck in the ground. Hey, there's an egg back there. Anyways, this is salvia, and we're going to cut that back as well. The egg, there's an egg way back in there. You see it? A little baby egg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get it?
Sure. You got it? You got it?
Yeah.
All right. Can you get it out?
Yep.
Good job. This bed in here, this salvia again is in the wrong spot. This fall I will move it probably to the front of that bed over there, or to the front of this bed. I am loving the way that the Russian sage and the echinacea look.
Mom, where I put this baby egg at?
We'll probably throw it away because I don't know how long it's been there. I'm loving the way the Russian sage and the echinacea look, so I would like to plant another Russian sage in here and probably a couple other fall blooming things, because all we really have in this bed right now is echinacea. We have some phlox over there, and we have this salvia. So this bed could use a little bit of extra, probably fall, maybe some early spring flowers as well. These three right here are lady's mantle, and we are going to go ahead and cut off the old blooms. All right, I said I wasn't going to cut back this black-eyed Susan, but I changed my mind. It's my garden and I can do that. I am going to leave quite a bit of the foliage on this one. I'm just cutting back the blooms mainly because they are flopped everywhere. The bees are not going to like me and I'm not going to like them at the moment, but I like to be able to walk through my pathway, and this is a pathway, so it's not really working. And I need to be able to get to this Bermuda grass because it's kind of taken root back here. Woof! I don't know if you can see the sky back there. I didn't think it was supposed to rain today, but it definitely looks like it might. Feels like it. I think the humidity is about 95 out here today. You're probably wondering why, if it's so hot, why am I wearing this giant shirt? Ugh. It's because I also don't want to have to wear sunscreen. That's why. So this shirt is actually pretty cool. Ah! I'm almost done. Just leave me alone. Whew, much better. Okay, there we go. I'll still keep these. And that way I can see this beautiful grass. See Rolo. I don't know if you can see her in there. Oh, the cat. I think that's all the cutback we have for the day. I am going to continue weeding because there's a few weeds in here. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you some beautiful flowers. So stick around for that. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.